Disclaimer. The information and education material contained herein is meant to promote the general understanding and dialogue of Gans processing. Such information is not meant or intended to serve as a substitute for a healthcare professional's clinical training, experience, or judgment. For patients and individuals, such information is not to be a substitute for professional medical, therapeutic, or healthcare advice or counseling. For medical issues or concerns, including decisions about medications and other treatments, readers, viewers, listeners should always consult their physician or, in serious cases, seek immediate assistance from emergency personnel. Prescription information, procedures, and use of medical devices information should be undertaken only by properly trained and certified medical personnel. We specifically disclaim any warranties, express or implied, including implied warranties of merchantability or fitness for a particular purpose. Such information is provided, as is, and is believed to be accurate at the time of its publishing, but it is the viewer's job to evaluate the accuracy of any information found in this presentation. Every case presented is of their own experience, applied by themselves for themselves, and it applies to their case only. Every person experiencing health problems should seek professional medical advice and consult their course of treatment with a doctor. The processes of plasma balancing described herein are a natural process which supports the body but does not replace medical advice or therapies one is already subject to.
The understanding of the transmutation of the fields of the universe will become the new occupation of man. In a way, up to now, we looked into the skies to see the UFO. Mankind will look into the skies with the eye of the soul, not with the eye of the man. And universe and unicos is oyster. You've got to understand that with a new understanding of the fields of the universe in motion, what we call energy, fields of the universe in the uniformity of the motion we call plasma, now has to be understood. Now has to be integrated into the structure of what we call life of the man in the space. We need to bring this change in, as now mankind has matured enough in numbers to be able to bring that burden of the change for the rest. You'll be amazed in the next few weeks and months how the drug traffickers will dump and try to make the dogs and the cats addict because they can't reach their bosses. And you do the same with your cat and dog, but just buy them ahead and put them on the line, the hours that is transmuted. And we have set our system that there is no hacking. Now you have to understand how to bring the two fields of your soul, of physicality, you will call the spirit, and the soul of the man, to work together. That does not need the brain cell, but it works without it, the way you shall do when you become the passengers of the universe, as your brain in this amino acid cannot exist. We don't have a brain between the earth and the sun. It's got to be part of the knowledge of man in the space that sooner or later mankind will come to understand that the totality of the knowledge shared belongs not only to man. It is the rights of every citizen of this planet. And it's the right of all of us to have access to it. We don't make a game of it, we make a life of it. Keshe Foundation is set to bring that change to technology, and we will have many enemies. Those who want us not to be there, and how they can bring that condition for them not to be. Try to understand what the emotion is. Try to understand how you create that emotion. Try to understand in what condition of physicality you create the strength with the interaction of the field of the soul that gives you that emotion. And then go to your soul and create the same field of strength that the interaction with the soul of physicality creates the same emotion. Then if you become mature to this, then it doesn't matter if the soul is the protector of the physicality or the physicality is protector of the soul. They work in a synchronized manner because they are both aware of everything. When you work in that strength, all the other souls of physicalities work on the same strength, then man shall not lie, man shall not cheat, man shall not kill, because I'm hungry, I need fields, and I'm given fields. It's got to be understood by majority of the people. And gradually, but all from the point of the first education, what it means to live with the soul, and what it means, the existence of the spirit, or the dimension of physicality. Our children will be educated to the knowledge of the universe from birth, the way they inherited the exposome and became paralyzed and become all the diseases they caught. It's just the energy and emotion which has brought that change. So the same shall be when the man understands this as a childhood, within the fathers and mothers' energy fields that has no X chromosome or Y. When the children of the man are created from the fields of the soul of the man, man shall bring no imperfect child to this world. That time has come. And that time is amongst us. And it's the time for us to bring it. In a coming time, in a very, very short time, as we are working in the background and development of technologies, as our team have to understand it, there'll be no room for vaccination. We transfer the energy of what we call the virus, which your body of dimension of physicality could be a virus on this planet, but on another planet or position in the universe is your food, to understand the transmutation from position to position. So you do come to the point that if you want to have a measles protection, you put your child this channel, this time allows this to be received as an energy. There'll be no ADHD, there will be no autism because of the mixture of the viruses and the injections of fake ways they do deliberately to them. Now, gradually, your eyes opening up, the capability and the possibilities which is now is open to mankind. You go on channel 24 and you can have as much apple as you like, but you won't pull an apple, you won't kill an apple. You want to have a lamb, you go on channel 26, you get to taste the food and everything of it, and you don't need to slaughter an animal. Now you understand how extensive this will touch you, and how satellites are needed, because the electronic satellites have a limitation of physicality. We need the soul satellite, which is of the same and transmute the same and is there to give and to exist. I made man in the image of myself. Is our creator ADHD, or is he a drug addict? None. The so should be the man. Now the man has the mind. And this is the cornerstones of the teaching. This is the cornerstones of understanding the embodiment of the cosmic rays, the soul, the Ganses, and everything else which goes with it. What will be the next step for you to understand the strength of the cosmic rays? Which one you need, which one you don't need. How do you attract it to yourself, and how you reject some because you don't need it even though they're on target. Very soon, once we start these systems to go public for you to tap into, you will tell us how you feel. You will tell us, today I didn't eat, not interested. Because today I receive what I need as energy through all the channels which is set up by Keshe Foundation. We govern the planet, not pieces of land. We govern through the soul and technology and knowledge, not by the gun policy and whatever sits with it. We need your support to be able to bring that change scientifically, correctly, and with the process and understanding of the whole lot, that we do not bring the change by wars, we bring change by love and creation of new country. I hope you understand what's on the table today and what is the part of the teaching. The main topic and the main objective of today is you do not need intermediaries. And nobody can protect the right of the Creator when themselves are abusers of the name of the Creator in the name of Ayatollah and the rest of it. I hope you understood the teaching of today. It has come to an end, and you understand scientifically why to the abuse of the man by the religion. Unless you enjoy an intermediary because you still think, I haven't found either, so I double in weaknesses of my own lack of understanding. Look to understand, try to find out the knowledge, and at the same time try to be precise, that you don't need another intermediary. You understand the knowledge that there is no need for intermediary anywhere in the universe. Always said, my message hasn't changed. It's for you to understand and mature to. When I said to the professors at Jeddah University in early 2012-13, when they wanted to send a student to the KF SSI, in which direction do you get your student to pray and bend when it's traveling the span of the universe and the earth is rotating and they're upside down and they're in different part of the universe which rotates itself? Where do you find your God to pray to unless your God is within you? Understanding the conduct. The message has not changed. And the technology and the knowledge has not changed. We just explain more of it and you understand it more freely.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 531st Knowledge Seekers Workshop here on Thursday, March 28th, 2024. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute Education Department and part of the Public Teachings in English. My name's Rick Crammond, and I will be the host once again for this weekly series of workshops that's been going on for over 10 years now. And once again, we have the pleasure and honor of having Mr. Mehran Keshe as our guide through today's workshop as well. And I believe he is ready to go. Hello, Mr. Keshe, are you there?
Yes, thank you very much. Good morning, good day to you, as usual, wherever and whenever you listen to this. The Knowledge Seekers programs from Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. And as usual, we welcome you back. You're back again to share some knowledge and to understand more and add to the knowledge. As we said in the teaching of the past and the course we have taken in the past few weeks and months has brought us and is bringing us more and more to understand what we call methods of functioning of our universe. All the teachings we do is not just about the soul and cosmic rays and everything else. It is in fact a book and knowledge of how you knowledge seekers and humanity and the rest of the creation in the future will use the knowledge of the fields of the universe for its benefit, for its what we call elevation, and many other things. As I said before, in somewhere down the line, it'll come to be comprehended and extended and understood, is that we thought and we think at a moment in the realms of the science and technology of the man, if we master the knowledge of those who we see as light in the sky, as UFOs and the rest, we'll be highly educated, we'll achieve a lot of things. But you got to understand, as I said, there is no difference between the man on the donkey and man on the rocket space technology of today and what you call the UFO passengers, people who manage to travel the span of galaxies and universes. If you travel in the dimension of physicality. So, as you all understand, and more or less start to understand, the knowledge given to man, and what we understand today, what is discussed on the table of the knowledge of the Keshe Foundation, so simply and so maturely, is a knowledge even beyond the what you call UFOs. When you carry a craft, you're still entangled in the dimension of physicality, where once you learn the art of transmutation, there is no dimension of physicality. The Creator transmutes his love. He does not send it with a craft. There it is, a ship of love. Here it is, a ship of caring. And this is what man has been gifted. You have had the magnets, and we knew about some material being magnetic for decades, centuries, till somebody moved it, and then it rotated it within some materials, and the energy split of it became electric current, and now found a new energy. But magnet was there, and a copper was there, and in some minds are next to each other. Nobody realized the energy. Now we have come to understand what is inside that magnet. That we make it, we put energy into to make it. We put energy into the copper to make a wire of it. And somehow when we move one in respect to the other or whatever, energy field cutting creates energy that we use as electric current. But in fact, it has always been there. I'm sure many of our ancestors found magnets, found the property of the magnets, and they must have had something copperish, pots and pans next to each other, and never realized the energy, because the science of man was not reached to that point. Now is the same thing. As now we open the mystery of the matter state of entity to its energy. So it's not that we have found something new. No, we have just understood what we missed up to now about the creation. And this missing of the knowledge is common in the universe. You got to understand, if somebody on planet Zeus had the knowledge to come to Earth through transmutation and spend few seconds on the way, would it have made all these crafts traveling? How many of them lost on the way? How many tests were done till they got it right? And most probably these ships somewhere, they call UFOs, will make a mistake and then all passengers gone. So you understand the difference between UFO and rocket space technology of NASA or Mr. whoever who's getting into the competition, or nations space technologies like Chinese and the Russians and the Iranians, is nothing but another dimension of physicality. Nothing has changed. Man has not moved into the dimension of energy. And it's for the first time, this knowledge, this way of sharing knowledge has started. We are setting the cornerstones for man to be able to have an option between both dimensions of the energy of the matter and the matter state of matter. You burn the candle to create light, to create heat. You burn that fuel to create heat, to burn it, to run a generator, to create electricity from it. Now you can make the Gans of that fuel and get more energy out of it to his fields than actually burning it. You don't need few millions of gallons of it to create megawatts of energy. You need grams of it to create megawatts of energy. This is the change. This is what we're talking about. This is where most of you knowledge seekers are getting lost. Mr. Keshe speaks about cosmic rays. Now is a new fashion. It's not a new fashion. It is understanding. You have matured that now we can talk about the birds and the bees. Up to now was boys and girls be good. This is about the marriage of the man, amalgamating the life of the man into the universe. Not just boys, get on the UFO, we'll take you somewhere else. We haven't changed your donkey with the UFO. Where both need energy to be fed, to be taken, to be positioned. Even the UFO uses magnetic field positioning of being attracted and going somewhere, and all the games in it. So now we have to understand this, because this cosmic ray, which is the magnetic field of the matter state, has become a dilemma for many of our knowledge seekers, because us in Keshe Foundation before used the plasma and confuse the scientists. Now we use cosmic rays and we literally stir it up. So you got to understand what is and what separates the two methods. Even in dimension of UFOs, in the dimension of record technology, you're still relying on the matter-state magnetic field, where in what we call cosmic ray, in the plasma technology, you work, you operate on the length and the strength of the universal magnetic field, and not its matter state, because all the matters are connected to each other through universal magnetic fields, or what you call cosmic rays. We start explaining this in much more detail as we enter, and we're preparing everything to be able to show the whole extension of the knowledge of the man, from UFO travel, from lift and motion to cosmic rays transmutation, in the event to take place in Iran, and hopefully this year, where we finish with the dimension of the matter state, and we bring in the dimension of energy state. And this is what is the way. This is why we bring the dimension of what we call magnetic field patterns, what we call the line of the connection of cosmos together, where up to now we use the matter state magnetic field pull of the earth with respect to the moon. We haven't even got there. At the moment, we still find what we call Mr. Tesla, and we look for another guy who's made a car in his name, trying to say we are advanced. Does it matter if we see a UFO on the back of the moon? We find another colony of creatures on the dark side of other planet, or we find something else in the space, which is all matter state confirmation of existence, and or would we live in the dimension of energies of the universe and magnetic field connection of the cosmos? Either way, it's a way of transmutation. It's a way of getting from A to B. It's a way of living a peaceful life, because when you are in the UFO, you still need to be fed. Unless you learn how to use the energy field that does not need feed. I'm sure those of you who had the pleasure of, or are part of the structure of what we call universal community, you eat too, in different shape or form. Otherwise, you don't exist. You cannot continuously take energy or give energy without replacing it or sustaining it. So it does not matter how we find ourselves, they must be of a higher strength knowledge, or they know more than we do, that they come and stand on top of us. We call them UFOs and we salute them. We wish our knowledge would be like them. But at the end, did it matter if you traveled on a donkey or a jumbo jet, and you had to be fed? You had to rely on the matter resources, or do you consider to move into condition of the energy resources, which has no matter condition of it, is the plasmatic field dimension. In that process, in that structure, now you find out, now you understand there is a vast amount of knowledge which we have no clue about. Once we open the dimension of transmutation in the field strength of the carbon 14 or carbon whatever, we have just opened up the first step towards what we call hyperlight system, that we travel in the speed of light beyond imagination. To what extent would our soul be able to stand the transmutation line? Our physical body with the highest speed suffers in the dimension of what we know as G's. 11 G's brings you beep, 50 G's brings you pop, and you're gone. Is there a G limitation for the soul of the man? Is there limitation in how fast we can travel the speed or the content of the soul of the man from A to B? Now you understand that the knowledge of what we talk about, cosmic ray, is traveling on the line of energy. And when we talk about the UFOs, what we call magna positioning, we're talking about matter state. Would the future of mankind change so rapidly that we put aside anything to do with transfer of matter state? Be it our physical body, be it the means of transportation, be it the means of communication. Do we need any more sounds to make that makes us intelligent because we can put the sounds together and we call ourselves the king of animals? Or are we still animals in the dimension of the universe? We still need to animate it. Now it comes to a point that we have to understand, now that we understood we can transmute our energy field, as we call it, the soul, we need to understand the rule of the game. How the rules, how the game is played in the universe, in the dimension of energy. There is no more matter state. Is understanding the essence of the creation exists. You have to feel the other energy. You cannot see it. There's no tangibility. In the flight systems which we'll show in Iran, on the matter side of the energy, you will see there is no containment. There are no reactors. Once you create a reactor, you come down to the limitation of the matter state. But once you create the plasma fields, you are in the dimension of universal fields. As I said in the talks before, we don't see a containment around the sun. We don't see a containment around the moon. We don't see a containment around the earth or any other planetary system, any tangible system in the universe. We don't see the sun in a container. So till man gets his knowledge to the point that he can make energy sources like sun without a container, then man has achieved for the first time to understand the process of creation. Now we're still fighting how much gases or whatever we can blow from the back of a rocket to get us further up in what we call the plasma energy system. There is no containment. There is no containing except fixing the field in respect to its environment. And for the first time, we will show such a technology in Iran. Space reactors without containment. Because the fields does not allow such a condition. Then, in a way, in the palm of your hand, if you can hold it, you carry the sun. You carry the essence of the fields of creation. In reality, in Iran, we show technologies that the man could not even dream in past thousands of years. We always talked about the rocket. We never spoke about the fields the same as the sun. But the beauty with it, it has no heat. It has no limitation of the matter state within it. In the flying system, transportation, transmutation will show in Isfahan in the coming time. We bring in a new technology, ushered with forcing man to abandon all the behaviors of the past. The systems are in process of development for our scientists to understand that they can go to the next step. Don't rely on containing, but rely on maintaining, in bringing and supporting. The systems which will be shown in Iran, they'll be so advanced that world of science will be baffled. How simple the technology is. The technology is so advanced that there's no computer to control it. We don't have such a connection, such an advanced knowledge to be able to control these things. The same as we made the computers, we made them with so much memories and connections, but we haven't got them to work even in a fraction of the dimension of one single brain of us. Now you understand why we are introducing the cosmic rays, why we are bringing in the dimension of connection of the cosmos, not the dimension of connection of the matter. The fields of the universe are connected to each other through magnetic fields, and up to now we have managed to do, hello, I'm here, would you like to come for a lunch? Because we can just manage to transfer energy of the sound of the man across. Now, in the coming time, we transfer the energy of the soul of the man, which is in a different dimension, which physics and knowledge of today has not even come to understand or comprehend the existence such as. So, you knowledge seekers are jumping, separating from the dimension. When we give you systems, I don't feel anything, which means you haven't matured yet. Those of you who get into the universal system, obesos, you get into systems with a headphone with us and tell us, I don't feel anything, it means you have not matured. You have not come, you have not reached to the level to be able to connect, to understand the field interaction of the universal lines of communication, what we call cosmic rays. As I said, a new game, a new way to work, to reach, to achieve. And as is the habit of man, those who cannot achieve it, there is something wrong with you, not with me. But not this time. You cannot reach to understand transmutation. You cannot reach the expansion of the soul It's your problem. Our system works. Your physical dimension has not matured to the level, has not reached the point of understanding the expansion of the field of the universe. It's not anymore the British way, you have to prove it to me, that then is correct. From now on, it's your job to understand it, because it's your own lack of knowledge and not mine. As I said before, I said to the Chinese military in a very simple way, I said to the guy, do you know the French cooking? Then how can you be put as somebody to give an opinion about the French cooking when you have none? How can the matter scientists of today try to give verdict to approval of the knowledge of the energy which they have no clue about? You bring a piece of metal in front of a leading scientists of today and you say, give me energy from it. Is it coal? Is it uranium? Is it oil? Is it candle wax? I said, no, it's a metal. This cannot be done. Because we put energy in the metal to melt it, we put energy in the metal to form it. But no one in the world of science of today has considered that metal has so much energy in it that is holding itself to itself as a metal. If you can open this energy, just using the energy of them holding to each other, can feed the whole mankind. And then an illiterate scientist tells me to explain to me, then I can approve it, because you don't even understand it. And this is the problem, as I said before, with your knowledge seekers. You're at the wedge of that point. A lot of you feel it, know it, now you can find a way to do it, but you don't have the means of doing it. You don't have the means of transferring this energy. You don't have the means of using this energy. And in a simple word, because up to now, you never understood the cosmic rays. You never understood how to connect. It's very much like me, you, in two different cities, and you buy a car on the internet. They send it home, you have to assemble it, and once you assemble it, you can't get to me unless there is a road. If you live in Rome and I live in London, doesn't matter what kind of car you have or what kind of car you bought, unless first of all you don't know how to drive it, secondly you don't know how to put it together, and thirdly, if there is no road or a way, direction to get to me, how do you want to get to me? You have the car, you bought the car, you put it together, you bought a brand new car. When you don't know how to drive it, stays in the garage, stays in front of the house. And even if you went to classes, you learn how to drive it, if there is no road, you cannot get to. On Earth, to get from A to B, we use roads, air flight, shipping lines. To travel the span of the universe, you need cosmic rays. That's your roadmap. This is the paved road for you to every point in the universe. And if you're clever enough, as the Italians say, and I've said it many times before, all the roads end up in Rome. If you understand how to use the cosmic rays, all the roads ends up with the Creator. So, on Earth, you need the road. in the universe, you need a cosmic ray. That's your road. That's the way to go. And every direction these roads go, it's you who have to decide. Even those who are the what we call advanced technology of the UFOs in space, now that they understand this, they have been using the same as you. The same condition of the matter state fields, not the plasmatic fields, not the cosmic rays. This is why from the beginning I said when we teach for not only the man. You thought as humans now you have to learn new things. Those guys above with the UFOs that are banging their heads why we didn't see it, why we couldn't do it, that we're still using this system. Now it's coming to the point that the creation, the created things in all dimensions of the universe will have one common way to travel, through the direction of cosmic rays. They will think one way, they will understand one way, and they'll behave one way. Because when you become a passenger of the universe, when you travel in the dimension of transmutation as the soul of the man, the energy field of the banana is no use to you. The energy fields of the meat is no use to you. That was good to feed the matter energy state of your body. In the space, you have to learn how to tap into universal fields to feed that hungry soul of the man with all the dimensions of the knowledge of the creation. Now you understand. The extension of the knowledge is beyond man understanding, and unfortunately, you have a few months. As I said in the conference in Sanya on the 19th, or what we call on the 17th of January, March of 2024, we finished with the past and we started with the new. The beauty was in what we did on the 16th. The reality came that whatever we achieved on the 16th was nothing to what is on the table on the 17th. It was promised that the March of 2024 will be what we call the watershed in the life of humanity. And it was delivered in China. Now, you have to understand, to you is cosmic ray, to me is fuel tank, to the other is the UFO. All has to find its place and understanding. Once man understands the use of the energy, he will think 10 times using the matter. Unless you want to hold it, you touch it and you love it. In a dimension of tangibility. We come to earth, we take the dimension of physicality to enjoy what a physical life gives, because on the dimension of the soul is just feel, there is no tangibility. Now you understand why the whole structure, the whole confirmation and completion comes to the point of what we call the knowledge of the creation in a dimension of energy, which energy is translated as magnetic field in motion. And if one day, all the created things put their energy together and bundle it together within it, and as collective energy of it, they find what we call the origin, the original field, the origin of the creation. This is one of the biggest problems for humanity. Now, to separate these 2 points, separate and understand the difference between these 2 points, come to the point that man become wise to everything. Now you understand how the game is played. The game is simple. Is man lack of knowledge has kept the man to the dimension of matter state. Now, gaining the knowledge gives man the accessibility to everything created within the universe. And everything is within the reach, and everything is reachable. You don't need thousands and millions years, light years, to get to somewhere. Excuse me. God does not have Earth light years in his horizon, so he should not exist. If this is the principle of the what we call the religions of today, that's not just a religion by faith, that's a religion by science. Now, we have to understand why we are introducing the cosmic rays, why we are introducing the fields of the cosmos, and why we talk about how faster it can go, because there is no limitation on it, there is no restriction on it, as the physicality has restriction. Then you understand what they always say. What you see in the sky, the light, the sun, the stars, what you see is exactly what is happening in that second, that moment, and not millions of years. You've got to understand that a plasma has a spectrum of fields, as I explained last week with the eye. Those which are in the matter state field strength takes them 8 minutes to get to us from the sun. Those which are in the cosmic ray fields are instantaneously within us. Because within ourselves, which is in a plasma condition, we have that connection and characteristics. So what we see as a day light, or the light or the field which takes 8 minutes to get from the sun to us, is what it takes in the matter state energy fields, not in the cosmic ray energy fields, which is instantaneous. If you decide to travel with the donkey, that's your problem. The rocket technology and the jumbo jet is sitting next door, and if you don't like it, cosmic rays are next to them. So we measure with our present technology and knowledge the donkey way. Anyway, not even a donkey, the Stone Age time measurement. But the light has been there, the donkeys are there, the rocket technology is there, the cars are there, everything is there. If you want to still live a cave life, it's your decision. But now that we have the understanding of the fields of the energy, then why are we measuring it in a matter state? Why have we been convinced to accept that this is what it is and all of it? But in fact, yes, this is what it is, all of it for your understanding to the matter state. Not to understanding and work of a universe in a plasmatic magnetic field state. In a way, I always compare it to when the cars came, they said if you do over 25 kilometers an hour, your eyes pops out, you bleed and you die. So the car manufacturers had to produce cars that doesn't go faster, even if they could, because nobody could accept it. But one thing which I said once to a scientist, I said, you know what's the strange thing? Man going on the back of a car 25 kilometers or whatever would have popped his eyes out. But man used to travel on the back of some horses and donkeys much faster. His eyes never popped out. This is how they fooled us with the knowledge. But we have to come to understand, if man wants to travel in the dimension of the speed of the universe, man has to convert his matter state to energy state that he can transmute. And this will be a big dilemma for many, many knowledge seekers and many scientists and humanity to come up. Till we transmute the first man. Then we see how the whole world of the man will change overnight. I hope I resolve this matter of cosmic rays last week and this week, emphasizing again for everybody to catch up, that when we go into the next phase of the travel, there is no tomatoes left and everybody has catch up. It's for you to understand the truth about the knowledge of creation, and not for us to be wrong because you don't understand. This British way of explain to me, otherwise you're wrong, has changed. You're stupid, catch up. You don't understand, catch up. It changed that you have to slow me down till you find out. It's your job to speed up, to catch up to what is coming up and what is available. And if you don't understand, tough luck. Live in the body of the man and go through all his suffering. And this is not just for you, the teaching of today. It is very simple. And it's as simple as ABC. You have to understand. You choose the matter state, or you choose the what we call magnetic field dimension. I wrote a paragraph to one of knowledge seekers this morning, and this will answer a lot of you in a lot of dimensions. As part of the communication, it says, this is secret of living for millions of years in all dimensions of creation. as I have, and gathered so much knowledge of my own emotion. God, knowledge is free. And he says, gold has no value as you understand the secret of gold, of creation and creator. And this is a secret we are trying to teach you. Then you understand that you can even use that gold in the dimension of matter state to add to the soul of yourself, to elevate, to understand the position of transmutation from one to another. Then you understand when you transfer from cosmic ray states, from the field of the universe to the dimension of matter state transmutation, to be visible, tangible, you shall cry. And we cry the same as when the child is born out of the womb of the mother, to accept the life in the dimension of physicality of her. There shall be no difference. But in different ways of crying, in different ways of loving the what we call the created. We go for a break and try to answer you back. At least resolve some of the mysteries of the creator in dimension of the creation, not in dimension of matter state. Would you like to take us for a break, Rick? And we come back.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Keshe. Okay, we'll be back shortly. This is the 531st Knowledge Seekers Workshop here on Thursday, March 28th, 2024.
The new Vertical Enhancement Spaceship Unit. A plasma space technology to prepare humanity for transportation and transmutation in deep space. Essential processes are embedded to prevent mutations and psychosomatic conditions during deep space travel. This new system is designed to support upper body conditions, especially of the lungs and intestines, and can be targeted specifically for each organ. When inside the Vertical Enhancement Spaceship Unit, the body experiences balance in totality, enabling it to correct and rebalance all the fields within itself. The new Vertical Enhancement Spaceship Unit, a dimension in health and transportation never seen before.
The new Horizontal Enhancement Spaceship Unit, a space technology that allows you to work with the fields of the universe. Creating a wide range of plasma field interactions and conditions, it allows the body to process itself from any physical or emotional imbalance. Once this balanced condition is achieved, the soul and emotion of the man can follow to find their balance, elevating the whole of the man. The new Horizontal Enhancement Spaceship Unit. Technology of the future through advanced plasma knowledge.
Okay, we're back again at the 531st Knowledge Seekers Workshop. And because it's the second half, we will have the opportunity to ask questions of Mr. Keshe. So I remind our attendees in the Zoom call here that you can raise your virtual hand and we can allow you to open your microphone if you have a question. And also in the YouTube, if people would like to post a question there, we can transfer that over as well. And in the Q&A in our Zoom as well, you can type your question. And before we get into that, I believe Mr. Keshe will probably have a few things to say first. So please go ahead, Mr. Keshe.
Thank you very much. As we finished and completed the senior conference, and we are preparing gradually for the conference in Iran. We're working on in a way to keep you aware of what's going on and how this conference in Isfahan will be organized, because there will be a full cooperation between the Keshe Foundation, International Keshe Foundation, Iran Keshe Foundation, and the Iran military forces, Iran Space Development Forces, and the Office of the Leadership and the Iranian government. The Iran conference is not as simple as it was done in Manchester or London or Beijing. The Iran conference, it will be so comprehensive and so extensive that will bring forth a new dimension in aspects of the life and technology. Those of you who are planning to come to Iran, you have to understand the conference in Iran is not a game changer, it's a change of the space technology as a whole. We, as I said, created the room for you to experience the environment. In Sanya, in Manchester was a system on the table. In Iran is a game changer of the development, showing of the technology and delivering technologies which makes the present space technology obsolete. Those of you planning to be in Iran, we have set a very high fee for Iran and Washington as the twin conferences. The reason we have a lot, but be prepared. We are looking around about 25,000 euro for entry for 2 conferences. And your admission is with us, as happened in all the 3 conferences. We try to facilitate your accommodation, but you pay for it. Your transportation, you're getting there, and your accommodation, both in Iran and US, is your responsibility. We try to be as clear as possible in the next few months how the conference in Iran will take shape, that you understand. And it will be present by Iran military, by Iran space officers and government officials, is a show of change and development of the new technology. If you are planning to come to Iran, getting the visa for you and everything else will be arranged internally through by us. That you don't have the mayhems of what we saw happening for those who came to China. But be prepared for presentation of technology which will baffle what we call not only the world of science, but the governments. We will not accept any restriction on what we show by no governments and no military forces. We will show pure raw technologies, their use, their advantage, and what is to change. And Iran conference will be the beginning of the change from matter state to transmutation, and show off the technology in what we call, you like to call it, the UFO technology. Those of you who are interested, as normal, as usual, register with the Keshe Foundation. We have not put it on a website. We will not do till very late, but you can put your, what we call booking, or what you call your registration with the foundation as of now, through the connections you have. This is only for the knowledge seekers, because once we open up, we close the knowledge seekers door. Even in Sanya, we try to accommodate everybody to the last minute. Still on our agenda is around October, November. We have to see how the development goes, and we have to see how we can facilitate and arrange with the Iranian government, everything else. Those of you who attend the monthly sessions tomorrow. The monthly session tomorrow is another part of the space and transmutation, and it'll be a unique way that we split the session into two. If you do not or come late for the first part of the session, you'll find out you'll have a problem with the second session, or you don't understand or can catch up with. Because in the first part, we prepare your physicality in different dimension, and then in the second part, we let you to use our system for your physicality. You will know what I'm talking about when we go through the session. Tomorrow's session will finish at 5 o'clock, 4 or 5 o'clock promptly. It is not like before we leave it open. So please join in at 9 o'clock, and please stay in for a whole session. You cannot leave part way. You will know what I'm talking about, those of you who want to leave halfway. Don't forget, you are paying us to test the new technology, and it's our job to tell you what you can do, what you cannot do during the test time. This time there is no halfway passengers. You sleep, you eat on board. There is no extension. There is no doing any other way. Other point which we come up as we are signing and we're closing a lot of our productions to go into international way with governments and military. Keshe Foundation next few days announces we are clearing all our stocks in all facilities, and we will try to provide the list. Those of you in China who want to buy the stock, you're quite welcome. Those of you in Europe, you want to buy the stock, you're quite welcome. We have a stock in Arizona, which we want to more or less sell out. There is some stock left in Iran. There is some stock left in what we call Mexico. I don't know how much is left in Mexico. We can ship that. And those of you who are in electronics and understand system control, Keshe Foundation has about $600,000 US in electronic system control, which sits in Canadian section. These are automatic section systems. If any of you have any knowledge about it or you can use it, they have for sale. It cannot go to countries like Iran Just 1 second, please. I have to answer it. I do apologize to always say the postman brings the wrong time. We have these materials for sale in Canada. We paid for it.
Excuse me, Mr. Keshe, your microphone is different somehow. You might have to reset that.
What has happened?
It sounds like it's echoing in the microphone.
Is it better now?
Not really. Are you in a different room than you were before?
Yeah, I had to move around. Just 1 second.
Okay, maybe that's...
I'm in a public area, so I have to move into another place. Is it any better?
Oh, yes, that's a lot better. Thank you.
So what I was saying is that we have about $600,000 of electronic systems for control, which are sitting in our stock in Canada. We would like to sell these. If any of you have or know anywhere it can be used, all the data can be provided. At the same time, we have a lot of coils, a lot of pens, a lot of other materials, which are again part of the stock of the Keshe Foundation, which is coming to an end. So if any of you like to look at the stocks, which is on the websites, and make an offer for a whole lot or part of it, we are prepared to look at, and we put in more material which is not as part of our stock we want to get rid of. We have hundreds of kilos of dry ganses, which we would like to sell, can be shipped anywhere. We have a lot of manufacturing material systems, machinery, which we would like to sell. Any of you would like winders, automatic winders, and all sorts of things. Gans manufacturing systems, all sorts. Any of you would like to, or would like to buy those for a training or teaching, we have those all available to clear out, and we try to make a list of it for those of you who are interested. As Keshe Foundation, as a manufacturer of what we used to do, has finished, and we literally moving to the next steps of the Keshe Foundation development worldwide. That's all I can tell you today, up to now, unless there are some other questions we try to answer. Are you there?
Yes, I think I'm probably in shock a little bit there. It's interesting.
No, this is part of what we said. Keshe Foundation is moving into a different operation altogether, and we are in that path. We have to, and we are clearing literally the stocks of all our productions and the stocks of factories and manufacturing which we set up. working with governments and military has literally changed the course. As I said, hopefully next 2 or 3 years, you will see different dimensions on the Keshe Foundation.
Yes, indeed. Okay, we can go with some questions here, Mr. Keshe. We have in the chat today, Stefania has a question, and two of them. What is the difference between magnetic fields and plasma energy fields? Hello, are you there, Mr. Keshe? Your microphone's not, maybe you're busy in the background for a bit. We're not able to hear you if you're trying to...
It's just
There we
sorry.
go.
I have a lot of background noise. I have to control it,
Okay.
that, it can be carried out. Just for a few minutes till we move into a new environment. Magnetic fields are part of the structure of the work of the universe. It's the same as the others, even the plasma field. It's just that what we use it, magnetic fields, is for matter state, and plasma fields is for when we use the dimensional fields of the universe.
Assuming there's background noise again.
Yes.
Okay.
Now we sorted out, moved into a soundproof area. This is a problem when we are traveling. We don't have the freedom of our choice. We are in the hand of the world situations. This is what the cosmic or whatever is. When we use the term magnetic field, is when it's matter state. And I think overall in the future, this will be used to categorize what we're talking about. At the moment, it's just Earth magnetic fields, and we call the magnetic of magnet. To understand it on the what we call cosmetic way, in a bigger expansion of the universal work, is a separation we have to make. We know what we're talking about. And there's no choice to make this clear. That which side we're talking about. When we're talking about plasmatic fields, we're talking about cosmic rays, we talk about universal fields by entities. When we talk about the Earth, the magnet in our hand, we talk, because it's a matter state of, we talk about magnetic fields. But the magnetic field of the Earth has a cosmic direct dimension to it as well, which how it positions itself in respect to other matters in the solar system, or our solar system positions itself in this galaxy. And we're trying to make it very easy to be understood. Any other question?
Yeah, the second question from Stefania is, can you speak more about the first gravitational energy system and how it works?
Gravitational system is when it's a matter connected to it. In a way, when you have fields which can end up in the manifestation of matter state, we talk about magnetic field. In the dimension of existing, in a what they call universal condition, we talk about the plasma field. You have ganses in your hand and you have a magnet on the other. When you put a magnet to another magnet, you feel the physical pull and push. Your ganses are all collected in the glass. You don't feel any pull and push, but they all move to position themselves. If the gans you have is made of iron, you get the same position, but that's the plasmatic condition field than the iron, which is magnet in solid matter. In the point of magnets, we talk about magnetic field. In the point of the ganses, we speak about the plasma field, or universal field, or cosmic ray fields. And it's as simple as that. Both have gravitation in respect to, and both have repulsion in respect to. And in some cases, they interconnect because they have a common denominator in magnetic field spectrum. Any other question?
We have a request in the chat here from Dolores, but I don't know if maybe you should read it and see if you want me to read it, or how we want to deal with it. It's a health issue and she needs some support with that.
Where?
It's in the
it's
in the webinar chat. Do you have access to that easily?
Yeah, I see it. We don't answer such a thing. No way. There's no way. Ask her to go through the wellness center in Germany to Dr. Kern. This has to be answered through them, not through us here.
That's at the health at spaceshipinstitute.org, I believe. That she can write to.
If she goes to info@keshe.foundation, and I think they will forward it to Dr. Kern, or it goes to the German center. Either way, send it to info@keshe.foundation, and then we send it to one of the doctors to look at it. They respond to it.
Okay, good. Francine has a question. What about the products that have not yet been delivered? And
we're completing those. Whatever is ordered is on order, like the power generators, whatever. They will be delivered because they're already in the process. These are the products which we made last year or the years before, surplus product we made in thousands, and we are clearing out. There is a few pieces left. There's some like pillows people ordered. The pillows were stuck in China. We have 1,400 of them. So in shipment of the goods back from conference, we ship. So those of you who ordered pillows, now you'll get them in the whack in the next few days. And those other bits which were small pieces, all been getting done and completed. The big products like the energy production, those will be completed as well. But we don't produce anymore these little items like, the butterflies and that kind of thing. We do not get involved in it, and we fulfill that part till the governmental side of the work completes itself. there is the evolution in the science. In that, we kept a lot of things delayed and delayed. As I shown before, if you look at the size of the Obiso, we showed 2 years ago, 3 years ago, in 2020. Now we are in 2024, has reduced to a headset and a head unit. And it's the same with the development of other systems. What now, as we showed, we showed in January, what do you call it, in 2022, 2023, we showed the gas production unit, those big boxes you saw at Lynn's exhibition center, where I showed you with a heavy jacket in the winter. That huge box now fits into a small hand carry suitcase. It's technological development. And it has taken 2 years delay, but now we are at that point. The gas production units is now literally fits into a suitcase, as we showed it in Sanya. And this is a big change with the gas energy power generation units. Will reduce the same to that kind of sizes in the next few weeks. Then we can put in the market in a very rapid way. Building those big units, which we demonstrated, is colossal. You would have received, God knows, a big box of, now it's just a suitcase, it's a gas production unit. But at the same time, we have to watch a lot of things from security bits and other things now that we put these things in the market. You got to understand, Keshe Foundation doesn't patent anything. So we have to structure a lot of national securities around our work from now on, and you'll see that what we're talking about. This is, in a way, accepting, and a lot of work is getting done in the background. I spent a lot of time sorting this thing out, that the new technology cannot be patented. By the time we get the patent application, which we don't believe in, is a waste of time. We have to make agreements with the governments that our technology is kept and is funded back to the foundation. This is what I'm doing in the background at the moment in the past few months. And the same goes with our operation in what we call in Markray, which we said how we operate in the past few months, and you will see how we reflect back in what you call in the company in the coming time. As I said in the Sanya conference, we can explain to you as knowledge seekers the situation about the Markray, because Keshe Foundation is the owner of the stock. I'm the trustee. So we work as a collectively together, and we do that collectively. So when we discuss something, it's not to affect the market, it's for you as people who support it to come to where it is, we inform you. Because you are the company, you are the foundation. And so in the coming time, you will see how we channel things through in different ways.
Okay, Joseph asks, will the Gans related products disappear? And what KF tools we knowledge seekers will have left to work with?
What do you mean tools?
He's worried that the tools such as Gans products or paint pens and so on, all the various tools that are offered through the Keshe Foundation store, what will knowledge seekers be left with if all the tools are gone?
There's a lot of things. You have to realize there'll be around 50,000 new products in next 2, 3, 4 years will come out on the back of the Keshe Foundation. Keshe Foundation operation it changes in a different way as we are a shareholder. We are not the owners. It makes different position for us.
Yes, and we understand that some things can't be discussed until they're actually revealed. So,
no, the problem is that these are the products which were made by the Keshe Foundation in different ways, but now the corporation will be involved. I cannot give you much information at this moment because there are a lot of things entangled in this. Once we move into cooperation, collaboration. We kept the Keshe Foundation research independent. It will stay independent. We will not share with no government, no shareholding. But we allow governments to develop, to expand what is in conjunction with them. We still keep what we call the independence and integrity of the Keshe Foundation as an independent research development company. But we bring in cooperation with civilian, military, space, in 3 or 4 nations together. And then there is a bigger structure behind it. You will see, we learn by experience. I was just talking to one of our, what I call one of our closest people to me in Keshe Foundation this morning about this, that we relied a lot on knowledge seekers, and knowledge seekers we trusted. They did a lot of good things, they brought some good things, but overall knowledge seekers are not business people. Knowledge seekers are not production people. They're enthusiasts, they understand, but them in their understanding is not complete. So the structure will be run by experts. Not necessarily. We make knowledge seekers out of experts, not bringing knowledge seekers to do what they cannot do. We have few knowledge seekers who are expert in certain fields, certain things, but they don't have the expertise of what you call it, running the structure of the manufacturing and the rest of it. We try to do it. We try to bring knowledge seekers in Ghana. We saw what happened, same in Italy. Now we bring in international management. We bring in people who their target is delivering a new technology worldwide and have the support of the government, scientific structure. So, as I said, very soon, in next few months, we make an offer to take over the Tesla cars. The Keshe Foundation will reach that point. All Tesla cars will shut down. We are in that position of the structure. Keshe Foundation, as this international organization, will get an option to Tesla cars in a very, very soon, very, very much sooner than you can think, because nobody needs electric cars anymore. The time of electric cars, these huge batteries, to a country like United Kingdom needs at least 5 factories to produce batteries to support only the cars in the United Kingdom. Each factory costs about $9 billion to build. They found the first sites, but they couldn't complete it because they couldn't raise $9 billion finance for it. Electric cars are not a reality in the world of what we call automotive. And Keshe Foundation has already developed and is developing further that in next few months we replace battery cars. That's the evolution in science. So is Keshe Foundation going to sell cars, or we bring in one line by line international cooperation by change of science and technology? This is not something new which we are going to do. We went to take over General Motor Car in Antwerp in 2010, 2011 to bring this car out. Then we couldn't understand how it got, I mean, we understood the King of Belgium went against it because we didn't give the thing, and we know the whole story. And then we found out actually the mole of the Belgian government was sleeping in the same bed as us. They knew before us how they're going to assassinate us. So this time we are not going that way. We give international governments time to adjust. All these battery factories which are getting lined up, all these charging stations which are getting lined up for electric cars are obsolete. And for us not to be in danger, we have set it up in a way it goes to governments and different governments. So those of you who talk about what's going to happen to products of Keshe Foundation, this is where we're going. This is where the situation will go. Very soon, gas business for gas production, cooking in the house and everything will change. Maybe 2 to 5 years. Then what happens to all the other bits which are involved in? To gas, whatever, production nations like Iran and Qatar and the rest of it. How fast the government will go to it. So, yes, we are finishing with, yes, we are opening a new dimension. One of the first organizations which will be hit by this new development in technology is Tesla cars. It's electric cars, not just Tesla. But it keeps the old tradition going. Automotive cars stays. No engine, no batteries, and nothing else. So, yes, we are finishing with bits with it. Any of you have any products from Keshe Foundation, keep it. This is historical. We go into transportation. We go into what we call, whatever you call today, transportation, aircraft and the rest of it. So new products is not what is going to come. Just keep your ear open into what Keshe Foundation will announce in next few weeks and months. We are not sitting back, but we are not releasing anything out till we sort ourselves inside completely. So where does Keshe Foundation goes? There will not be, maybe in 10 years from now, that you don't go shopping on the internet, in the supermarket, on the high street, that somehow, somewhere, your life, what you buy is not touched by what this technology comes. The game has changed in the past few weeks. And we're not talking out of arrogance. We're talking out of hard work, delivering, and we showed what is to come. And in Iran, we show more of. And you knowledge seekers, you've been with us. The sessions of tomorrow is part of that. We are perfecting the art. We are perfecting the technology. And it's time We bring professionals, we bring experts, we bring governments in partnership, and they don't want to. We find there's so many others who are at the moment in the market in a pot. But to show the technology has to be there to change. And we will show the end of the automotive with batteries, fuel and the rest. Europe has accepted by 2030, 35, there cannot be no cars produced in Europe which has a fuel engine. So we are going through that transition with fuel engine cars in about 10, 20 years, but the rest of the world will be obsolete. The transition is to the battery cars, but battery cars have more problem than the fuel cars. So to go through the pain of the completion to battery car, we introduce a new technology for cars, which has no need for battery, has no need for engines, and literally is what the future is. I don't give electric cars more than 2 years life. You buy the luxury of a car, but you all have the same process. All you need to do, take out your shock absorbers out of your car, place the new reactors, a new control system, take your camshaft out, take your transmission shaft out, take your fuel tank out, take your whatever you call gearbox out, because it's not needed anymore. And most probably third world nations will benefit by this faster than Europeans and Americans. The cost should not be maximum $500. You can fit it in a cardboard box and make a transport system out of it. Technology is there. 2 years. So are we going to new products? We're not. No, we just go for a different dimensions. This is one of our plans. We'll go for Tesla car because it's a symbol of, it's already there to strip it. This car was in the structure to be shown on 26th of December of 2011 in, what do you call it? In Holland, which what we call the Belgians thought they were very clever. They thought they stopped it, but there was, thanks God, they stopped it. Some 12, 13 years later, this car will come out and you will see it. And you understand why Tesla cars and electric cars are obsolete. This is gone. This you see, fuel tank, all underneath, transmission is in the boot of the car, is in the back of the car. The center point here is where you receive the new control system. You put it on the ceiling of it. This, as you see, is just where your car mechanics, you understand, where you'll sit your shock absorbers. This is where the new reactors will drop in to replace the shock absorbers. And this is underneath of the car. This is where the transmission pipe is not there anymore because it's not needed. And this is where the engine was. You all seen these pictures before. It's how much more of this room which you put an engine, you bring forward, more space in the cars, or we make it smaller cars. Very compact system. So car prices will drop drastically by at least 80%. Well, you paid 50,000 with all the luxury things in it. You should buy it for less than $5,000 or $10,000 now, brand new from the factory. This is what we set up in 2011 when we were given the factory in Antwerp by General Motors, and we received the support from the German government to tune of 500 million to set up the factory complete. That time we had two big enemies inside the foundation. One is dead and one is gone. So it's inevitable. The new technologies will come in. What you felt in the room, some people say, oh, I went in the room, nothing happened. We had people in the room that they went through all changes and shakes. We had to bring them out and the rest of it. Nothing happened. Of course, you go in there so nothing happened, because then you say, I was there, nothing happened, because you set up for nothing to happen. But soon we adapt, but everything happens to everyone. Those of you who have ordered and bought the new material, you'll start receiving it in the next week, 2 weeks, gradually, as the production has started. And then you'll know what to do with it, how to handle it. Then you understand changes come. It's the same as those of you who bought communication unit and you bought obesity units. Communications are nothing to do with it because they're not connected to the system. There are communication systems and they are connected to each other. You have to learn how to work it and how to connect it. It's not a satellite. It doesn't need frequency changes. These things don't exist. Those are matter states. You have to learn how to connect, and we try to teach you how to connect to your what do you call it, cosmic ray bond communication systems in a very short time. Now once the number increases, we start teaching how to use it. They cannot be used for obesos. Obeso units are totally different structure of work. This is communication. Obesos are for different purpose. They're for wellness, and there's a different structure. But when we go like into this motor industry, the effect will be huge. We're in the game to change, and we started the game to change. Any other question?
It's nice being reminded of those pictures, Mr. Keshe. I hadn't seen them for quite a while.
Now they're back. Now it's a reality. We are working on it. It's the same with the power units. The new power units is on the development. It's just that the more research we are putting in, the more advanced we are getting, the more easier knowledge technologies become. And we don't show it in public. We don't need to show it in public. One of the best thing, as I said in past few months, one of the best thing happened to Keshe Foundation was the loss of millions. You were planning to raise funds to open factories and do this and that, and the expansion plan was on. And with this fraud on us, it slowed us. We went back instead of expanding, we went into development, and we just went up massive. And all the changes which was coming 10, 20 years, now it's here. Why should we wait? And it changed course for us. Nothing. I mean, we suffered a lot. Some knowledge seekers supported us a lot to get out of it or get in it, but it wasn't meant to be. But now the result of it is what is on the table, and we show it's coming up. Brought us back to the root of what we are. Research development in the space technology, but now we become supply of technology in a way, the old licensing way, but we license it to governments. And we give it to all the governments, not one or two. And we ask for a percentage of GDP in the long term, because we will affect the GDP of the nations. It's a long plan, but maybe in 10 years, 20 years, Keshe Foundation receives funds through its work. No licensing, no patenting, but collective agreement to support development of new technologies across the world. You will understand how it will take shape in time to come. We have put in our coins in position. On the banking side, we have put the universal banking side with the new materials. We told you, don't sell and don't open these. Keep it. It has a huge value. It'll gain new values. And it's like your bitcoins. These will have huge values for those of you who understand it. And at the same time, goes back to the next steps of what we call universal health, universal feeding. And part of these trials are with you tomorrow. You will understand what is set for tomorrow. And then the following month is another extension again to our research and development. So we are not going to run out of products. We are just changing, instead of being a producer, we leave the production to the others. We let market decides on how much they would like to pay for the knowledge. And that money will be spent back on you lot to create more knowledge of the universe. Any other question?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Keshe. Carl has a hand up here. So, Carl, would you like to go ahead, please? See, your microphone is open, but we don't hear any audio yet. I saw it close and open again, but still no no audio. Somehow your microphone is not connected to the Zoom.
Check 1-1.
Ah, now we hear you.
Okay, headphone fail. Sorry about that. Checking in from the Central Highlands in Melbourne, Australia, and yeah, wow, that's quite a monologue to follow, Mr. Keshe. That was something, and I'd certainly love to put my hands up for any of the CO2 sequestration technology that's available, because for me that seems like something that is immediate and needed in society with the new Arctic methane leaks. And I just sort of wanted, I've got a million questions, but I just want to ask, it seems like the most scientifically proven aspect of the Keshe technology, but why haven't we been able to gain any traction on that from an international perspective during this point in time?
We have, but the way we set out to do the CO2 and open up CO2 absorption and the rest of it has become obsolete. A year ago, even 2 years ago, we set out to build these, what do you call it, parking lots in the cities, to absorb, to extract CO2. In places like Tehran, the Keshe Foundation in Iran received orders from the government. 5 ministers or vice ministers, cabinet ministers turned up at the factory of the Keshe Foundation in Iran last year to push this through. And we have moved in technology in a way that we got 2 choices: extract the CO2 and then use as a gas, or with the new technology, convert the CO2 in air directly into food. Directly into protein. We don't need to make these huge Gans plants absorbing CO2 anymore. And we have shown that in what do you call it before, in a very simple way, which making gases, extracting gases and gas production to the work we do with the knowledge we have today is obsolete. It's too much hard work. And so this is the reason, as I said, government don't take it up because those who understood it, they want money for it to do it. And those who try to push it forward never understood. So we set up a huge factory in China, 70,000 square meter. And because of all the things which happened around us, it was closed down. But it was a beautiful thing because now we have moved the technology not into converting to CO2, with converting it directly to food and energy is much cheaper, much affordable, and you can feed the whole nation with it instantaneously. And this is one of the things which we will advocate in our work with the government. The segregation of CO2 and what we've done, we've shown is obsolete. Why should we do it? Don't forget, the creation of CO2 in Earth's atmosphere was backbone of creation of life. We made so much of it. Why do we need to bring it down to Earth and then change it back into food or whatever? So, as I said, this gap of Corona and what happened to the Keshe Foundation with a massive fraud on us was a blessing. Now we can convert the CO2 over a city in a very simple way, a fraction of the cost of before, that citizens of the city get fed, the plants of the city get fed, the animals of the city get fed. I reckon feeding, but at the same time you have to understand, if we go too much into it, we deplete so much of it rapidly, we create new diseases. But cities like Tehran, which has huge populations, it's like New York, which have a lot of people on the streets, children going to sleep hungry. Now the knowledge is there that we can directly convert in air into protein. We've shown it, it's not a theory. And it costs a few $100,000. And you feed on the run. You produce the protein on the run. You want to produce high quality rice, you do it on the top of the farm. You feed the protein directly into the plant. So why isn't it taken? We went that way, we went to build our factories, and what happened was a blessing. When I look at the Keshe Foundation sitting here, after all the pain, I aged 10, 20 years in past 2 years with all the mayhem which was created by this fraud around us, and we thought, oh, it's a trick or whatever. He allowed us to concentrate, to centralize our research, get rid of all the, what we call, bits hanging around, and bring a new dimension and work with the Keshe Foundation, which you and your generation will benefit by it. When you see these pictures, if you understand what it means, that's a conversion of CO2 in the room into protein. That's protein. That's the food. We showed this for the first time in the grains in Inner Mongolia 5 years ago. How the environment was changed and the protein in the wheat reached 20%, which is the highest ever. Now we can show how it done. Where the protein came from. So, is this enough, or is it the next step of development in this as well? Which I think it is. I can see a lot of developments from production of protein. But again, creation of CO2, appearance of the CO2 was a backbone of creation of life on this planet. Now we create life with that. That protein is life, is living. So don't worry about what happened, where it's going. It's going exactly where it should go. Every time we went wrong while trying to become manufacturers, and those who are protecting the technology above us, they put the track right and created a new dimension for it.
Sounds good.
This test was done in. It does sound good. It is good because we have shown what we can do. And now it's cheaper to produce protein than actually produce Ganses.
Oh. Really?
Yeah.
So it's $5 to produce Ganses, and you're saying proteins are even cheaper?
5 cents.
Wow. Okay. Well, I love seeing all these pictures you pull out and put on screen, but I hope, as we move into what seems like a quantum leap in the technology, we can see more video and the interaction of the fields in play on screen. And I just wonder, Mr. Keshe, whether I could take you through a little thing that takes 5 seconds but can last for 10 minutes. And I wonder if anyone who has a bottle of Gans next to them or nearby could go and pick it up and hold it in their palm and the second hand on the neck of the bottle and twist it anti-clockwise. And I reckon we need to have a competition on Gans tweaking. How long can you tweak some Gans and see it turn around in the bottle? You made a statement earlier in the session that we can, you only need a few milligrams of Gans to create incredible amounts of energy. Well, watching some Gans float in a bottle as the sun sets looking out on a beautiful horizon, I must say, is incredible. And when I twisted it tonight, it's one of my daily practices, I noticed that I finally put a stopwatch on. I noticed that I could spin the Gans for about 3 or 4 minutes, and the larger particles would start to settle down. And then after that, I sort of, with my poor eyesight, I squinted and saw that there were actually nanoparticles in the water that were still spinning for up to 10 minutes later. And this is from a 5-second twist, a 180-degree twist of the bottle. And I just wonder, how long have you been able to keep Gans particles floating in the water for?
It depends on the Gans. CH3 most probably take about a day. CO2 pretty rapidly. Copper will go down much rapid, but CH3 will last a long time. Hydrogen and what do you call it, deuterium. Deuterium sits fast, but I think CH3 and all the CH combination or carbon combination will last a long, long time. Maybe it's CH3, that's maybe an hour or two.
Wow, it's amazing. And then you talked about magnets before and putting them next to each other, and putting two Gans bottles right next to each other. They get a little shaky when you get about 5 millimeters apart from each bottle. And I have always wondered I took an amazing photo of some CH3 from above, and it looked like a snowflake. And I just wonder, what Ganses react really well next to each other and show the fields reacting in time. And perhaps from today's sort of adventure, I was thinking maybe I need to be looking at the smaller nanoparticles for those reactions rather than the bigger sort of Gans flakes.
It all depends. It all depends. I produce, like all of you, Ganses which never settle down. I produce Ganses for health application for myself, which I carry around the world with me. They never settle down because they're tuned to my energy. I produce Ganses totally different than you lot. There's a technique to it, and which has effect on me. I can give the same Gans to you with the same problem and say that it does nothing to you, but to me, does exactly what it's supposed to. It's built that way, and I carry wallets with me of Gans for different applications. Months and months, they never settle at all because they're made by cosmic conditions. You can suspend the material. There's something you've got to understand. If you look at the structure of the universe, if you look at the structure of the galaxies, if you look at the structure of the solar systems, you never see any of them falling to the bottom of the galaxy, do you? You never see any of the galaxies falling to the bottom of the Earth or universe. You understand? So there is a dynamic flow, and they're all flowing. If you look at the bigger scale, you see it, what's happening in that jar of Ganses you hold. You see clusters which react together. You see clusters which move together. And you see in one Gans bottle, if you mix a few Ganses, which doesn't take over everything, but you can separately see it. I've shown it in the book number 3. You see layers of Ganses. You see this. When you have Ganses settled to the bottom, it means they have a field, common denominator with the gravity of the Earth. When you make Ganses which never settle, I can take a picture of one now and show you. This means you work with the cosmic rays. They are like galaxies. I carry 2 or 3 bottles like this with me. And
I bet.
I can show you, it's actually about a few meters away from me. These Ganses never settle, but they carry specific dimensions and property that I built it for me. I told you, we put 5% of the knowledge, even not that, into public domain. People are not ready to understand what this technology can do. Scientists, world leaders don't understand, but in time will come and you let them. We haven't come here to open shop for a few days and close it and go. We come here to do a change for life of this planet. So you can make Ganses that will use what we call universal field forces, what you call cosmic rays, which gives you what you need from them. And I produce them when I need them for myself, and I carry them because I'm not always in one place to do. I make it to whenever I need it, it's there. And they never settle. Never ever. And it's full of cancer. It's not just a bit of cancer, it's full that is stuck on top of each other.
I find
So
as
do you
the
want
bottle.
me to test it, how long it lasts to settle?
Yeah, well, God,
If
that
I
would
do
be a
your
great.
test with your bottle, I'll be there the whole lifetime watching it settling. It won't settle.
Wow, I'll have to keep working towards that.
Cosmic
But
ray
I find.
gases, yeah. If you make gases understanding the work of cosmic rays and cosmic fields and how they lead to creation, you can make gases which they do things the world of science today say it's impossible. Carry on.
Just quickly, as the Gans settles, as I hold it in my palm after twisting it, I find that, often you give people some Gans and they can't connect with it. And it takes that quantum connection to believe in it, to give to it, for it to work.
No, you're wrong. I have to come in here. You give Ganses to some people, they connect. We put people in system, they don't connect. Yeah? Because it is two reasons. Firstly, emotionally, they don't accept. Secondly, they feel the strength in that material is not as the strength of theirs.
Yeah, that's right.
We're doing a test now. We are doing a test today. Ongoing since Beijing, what do you call it? Sanya conference. And this was deliberate testing. And I'm testing it because I had to confirm certain things on the design point of view. And the people involved, they don't feel anything with it. The people who have used it has changed their life. We monitored people who in, what do you call it, in Sanya conference using the system. What happened to who when they came in the room, if anything, was what they tell you later on, what they felt. There were systems on the other room that did. And there is in a way, we're testing something now. Tomorrow will be part of, another part of the same understanding is that you are by nature violent. And your violence can lead to a lot of harm to the other people or yourself. How, with the new technology, I handle this? Because of your violence, you have set a different standard in your energy field. How do I get to you? It does not matter what condition of emotion you create. You said yourself to have a cancer. How can I override, or how can I bring it in for you to think about if you want a cancer, you can have it. You can even die, you die of it. There is no difference between the cancer death and MS or others. You watch what happened to them. Bedridden, no energy, paralyzed, always the same characteristics of the cancer and the people who die with MS and the rest. So we have to find in a new technology a concept of choice. I choose not to. I choose to be violent, but to myself. But as long as I don't damage myself physically and I don't damage other people, how can we, through this technology, change violence? How do we change those who are getting together and hungry for control? These are tests which are going on, and you can do. And those of you who say the gases doesn't make anything to me, you have to find out how you made that gas. I hold the gas in my hand, I can taste it in my mouth. When I hold CH3 in my mouth, I get that sweetness taste. When I carry CO2, it's the same. When you carry Zn, I carry Zn in my hand, I feel the calmness in the body. But I love it, oh, it's nothing, it's just there. If you don't connect, always go in the back room where you made it, add a few drops of amino acid into your ganses. You washed it too well, it has no human connection, it's just a field. You need to give it a direction. You knowledge seekers wash your ganses so good that in a way you take all the meat off the bone and you just put the bone on the table to eat. You need to give it direction of connection, even with yourself. Always, when you make anything that is connected to life, animal, plants, yourself, any being, you need to create a line of connection, which is to them, to their amino acid. Now you know why some people don't feel it, and you feel it. Because you touch the amino acid, when you clean it, you already have the connection, it stays. Now you understand why?
Beautiful. Thank you, Mr. Keshe.
Thank you very much. Try to understand the logic of the connection. Understand how an amino acid works, why it's created, and repeat the structure in everything you do. You always get what you want. Doesn't matter if you feed it to a plant, doesn't matter if you feed it to an animal, doesn't matter if you feed it to yourself. Otherwise, it's what they say, it's a box of cornflakes, which the cardboard has more vitamins and energy in it than the cornflakes inside it. Thank you very much.
Go on.
Thank you indeed. Any other point?
Yes, from Antonio in our Q&A here, says, Mr. Keshe, thank you again for your teaching of today. My question is, does the soul of the sun's energy step down into Earth's soul and then into man's soul and down into animal, vegetable, and mineral souls? Is this the way it works?
You call it a soul, I call it a common denominator. And that soul of the sun is connected to the soul of the galaxy, which is connected to the soul of the universe, which is connected to the soul of the universe, which is connected to the soul of the creator. So, you know that old children's song, which says, knee bones connected to the, what do you call it?
Hip
Hip,
bone?
no, thigh bone, and thigh bone shown it to the hip bone, and it goes up. It's all connected to each other.
I think he's alluding to like a step down transformer. The sun's energy steps down into the earth's soul.
No, it
level.
doesn't
It's
step down. It doesn't step down. It's not a step down. You always have to remember the law of plasma. Always smaller amount. The smaller amount carries lesser energy, and so the bigger tries to give to the smaller to grow as to be. But there is a factor of gravity included in it. That in giving it, it keeps the connection not to lose it. In feeding it, it pull it back itself. It's a phoenix effect. So, Earth is created out of the fields of the sun, so it's connected to this itself, the mother. And the umbilical cord never breaks. The sun never lets us go out of solar system into space. It keeps it with that umbilical cord of magnetic field of it connected, and it feeds us through it. But in a way, it's a weaker state, less of. So the same, the less of, the same, the less. But it all has one common denominator. Any other question?
Thank you. And Gerhard in the Q&A says, hello, Mr. Keshe, and to all knowledge seekers. Since the Christmas meeting, I've been able to walk through the doors to my soul. However, I have only ever seen bright white light. That has changed since Sanya. Today, I see a beautiful bluish light in one corner. Can you explain to us what the colors are all about?
Can you repeat that again?
He says, since the Christmas meeting, I've been able to walk through the doors to my soul. However, I have only ever seen bright white light. That has changed since Sanya. Today, I see a beautiful bluish light in one corner. Can you explain to us what the colors are all about?
Colors, I'll go back to the teaching of years and years ago. That when we meet in a space with other plasmas, the color, the field, as we look at in the vision of the man, color, will give us the indication of what is our position. Is it love? Is it separation? If it's distancing? Is it, or whatever it is? You call it the aura. And you have to understand the aura of the plasma, which is partially in the body of the man, in the physical dimension. The skin creates that separation. Any other question?
You see an anonymous attendee in the Q&A says how much time it should take to deliver the cosmic ray materials.
It's in production. It goes by the queuing. Our people keep a queue. Um, so it depends. We're still getting orders for it because there are people who have want to understand different use of it. Maybe maximum 4, 5, 6 weeks, depends as the orders come. These we're trying. One of our problem with this cosmic material is now we asked our team in China to find us small crystal bottles that it can be sealed in, that stays and you can use it as a 3-dimensional. Otherwise, we have to ship it to you as a, what do you call it, as a sealed like tubes. And all these have a number, a serial number. They have a value. Hold on to it. Don't just get there and just get into it and see what you can do with it. It gains value. It is what I call currency. You need to become passenger of universe. You'll understand the coming time what it means. It is not there for play. To open it or whatever. Don't ever touch this. We seal it. If you open it and break the seal, it has no value to it, because there's other things we can tell you what to do.
Okay, question from Filippo in the YouTube says, good morning, Mr. Keshe. How do we position in our space a non-dimensional free plasma? And he also mentions what happens when you mark a ray. Well, his following comment is what happens when you mark a ray. So I guess he's asking about the non-dimensional free plasma. You've talked about the idea of reactors being a container, and now the new concept is to not have a container. How do we contain that free plasma, or how do we work with it on a non-dimensional free plasma in space?
What do they call it? What do they call it in the common economical language? This is a trade secret. We are not releasing
secret.
it.
Okay.
We will not show this. You're too immature. Man is too mature to get hand on such a technology. Too immature.
Yes, if you look at all the headlines in the world news these days, it seems pretty obvious that we've got a ways to go.
Any other question?
We have a hand up with John Wells here. John, would you like to go ahead, please?
Fine, thank you. Good morning to you all. What will happen if at a customs, because many a country, they want to know what's coming in a vial or whatever. If they open that and they start sniffing it and touching it because they want to know what it is, because they think it's drugs or whatever.
Oh, we cross up when we come to it, don't worry.
Because that'll create havoc.
Oh, we'll come into it. Secondly, we use different methods of transportation. We have to find a number for it. We'll find a way. Keshe Foundation is always found a way.
Fine.
We shipped hundreds of kilos of Ganses dry. If you open it, it looks like cocaine. They tested everything. They don't understand what it is.
Yeah, I had an experience with some small bottles of aromatherapy, and it took me 3 weeks to get the product out of the customs because
I get the stop sometimes. I sometimes get the stopped in the, I carry sometimes liters of these things with me in suitcases, packages, and they do the test on radiation and everything is clear. But what is this? I said, this is a plasma. What is it used for? It's a space technology. Who are you? I said, I'm a nuclear physicist. Oh, it's pack it in and you go. Every time it happens to me, every 1 out of the 3, if they get on, they want to know what it is. And
they want a bite of it.
There's no, they can eat it. I open it usually.
No, but I mean a bite is, don't they want some dough?
No, it's just the way things are. We don't get into these things.
Yeah.
I've learned this from years of working in stones. I used to carry stones in my pocket in, the traditional way we used to carry, and many times in customs, they stop you. What are you carrying? You tell them you open the wallet. If one got missing, you pay for it. 20,000, 30,000. Just tell us what it is. You know what it is. Do you have documents for it? Of course, we own it. And it's what it is. Or you can go through. There's a rule in the world of customs. If it doesn't show what we know, it cannot be any harm. And this is the way they work. They test it, it's not nuclear, they test it, it's not drugs. So it's a natural water. So they go let it go through. Shall we call it a day?
Okay, sure. Okay.
There's nothing else.
Oh, there's always more, it seems, but there's always another workshop next week that we can carry those questions over as well.
And the week after. Yeah. Think about if any of you wants to sell any of these products to Keshe Foundation, or you want to package up it, make us an offer, or substantial offer. We're not giving it away because it always has value somewhere. And we are clearing all our factories and resources around the world. Or if you know what you want from it, get in touch with us at Keshe Foundation or directly to the factories and see what you can help with. Thank you very much indeed, and see you next week.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Keshe. Thank you very much. And thank you very much, everyone, for being here today to experience the 531st Knowledge Seekers Workshop here on Thursday, March 28th, 2024. Our next public teaching workshop, let me get my calendar up here. Of course, tomorrow we have the Transmutation session that starts at 9 a.m. for those that are signed up for that in that special session. But the next public workshop will be, yes, we'll be into April already. April 2nd will be Tuesday, April 2nd, the One Planet, One Nation, One Race for Justice and World Peace, which starts at the 4 p.m. By then it'll be Central European time. Central European summertime, as we'll convert from Central European time to Central European summertime on Sunday, coming up in 3 days here. All right. So again, thank you everyone for being here. And we'll go out with our usual flight enhancement spaceship unit music version. And I hope you all have a good weekend. Okay, bye for now.